And this time it is an Indian fund manager who says that India is on a very high growth path, and you could easily expect 15% compound annual growth rate in stocks over the next 5 years. So that means you should expect a minimum return of 15% in stocks if you were to invest today. That's what he expects the outcome will be. Now, 15% for taking a big risk in stocks. It could go the other way around as well, because there could be certain turbulences which could cause this to come down. Now, everything that is expressed in terms of return has also to be weighed by the risk commensurate with that return. Why not go for something like 10 to 12%, which is riskless? What is the differential that you would be getting by investing in a risky environment where you have to monitor prices regularly and just earn 3% more return? I think it just doesn't make sense. This is a statement which is just very ad hoc in nature, and this is something which this is why people just lose faith in the investor advice community, because this is just extremely random in nature and done without precise calculations. Now, there is no doubt that the Indian government is doing a lot of right things from time to time. A couple of things are, one would definitely credit the government to be doing some really good things, like, for example, reducing the subsidies. This definitely reduces the pressure on the government's exchequer, brings down the fiscal deficit quite substantially, and is a great step, but it also reduces the disposable incomes in the hands of the rural workforce, as a result of which the rural consumption story gets a hard beating in the bargain. Another thing which the government is doing quite right, the Modi government, is the law that is enacted to severely penalize people with black money stashed overseas in various tax havens, and otherwise as well. I mean, you could still be stashing money in areas which are not really tax havens, but it's black money which has gone overseas. Now, this would not only help, to whatever extent, of course, in bringing some of that money back, but would also be a very powerful deterrent to future outflows of money overseas. And this really could help the balance of payments. This could help the Indian currency quite substantially. Thirdly, do not forget the fact that the Chinese yuan has depreciated by almost 80% vis-a-vis the Indian rupee over the last few years. Now, this has definitely helped in enhancing the Indian manufacturing substantially. China, being a very low-cost producer, is definitely a country which most people who are trying to scale up their manufacturing operations find it as a great threat. So, China being off the radar as a competitor to Indian manufacturing is a sigh of relief. This, combined with the land acquisition bill and other bills which the government is trying to bring out, that means they are assuring availability of land, of capital at low rates to the Indian entrepreneur, definitely stands in good stead and would help in Indian manufacturing. The so-called Made in India slogan that the Modi government has popularized would be really helped by all these different measures which the government is trying to strike all at the same time. Coming to the fighter planes, the Rafale bought from France recently. It's a good thing, it's a good addition to the Indian Air Force, but I'm not quite happy about the fact that there should have been more indigenization. I mean, you can definitely strike a bargain deal and buy these planes at a price which is much lower than what was being negotiated. But do not forget the fact that there is no indigenization over here. There is no commitment on the part of France to indigenize, to help India develop its own aircraft. And this really goes against the spirit of the Made in India campaign. So I believe that I'm not sure what else is the intention of the government, but this is one of the things which I believe they should have taken into consideration, and I hope they have in some other areas or in the purchase of future aircraft, try to incorporate some of these suggestions. So I believe that the government is striking a lot of good notes, but there are some tumbling blocks as well. I also would hope that the government does more on the infrastructure, which is really in quite a lot of mess still. And also, in addition to the black money bill, does something more, or rather much more, to be able to tackle the corruption issues in India. So once these are tackled effectively, I think one could see much higher growth rates, much higher than the fund manager promised you of just 15%. I think you could be looking at 20-25%. But there are a lot of gray areas still, and you should position your investments accordingly. Take care. Bye bye. Have a nice day.